Hello guys, welcome to my channel. The less is more. So today we'll discuss an editorial from Indian Express, and it is about the policy framework to be adopted by taking consideration extreme climate events. Okay, so let's start the editorial directly. The title of the editorial is Before the Next Deluge. At the recent G20 summit in New Delhi, world leaders reiterated their commitment to addressing climate change challenges by building sustainable and appropriate solutions. Notwithstanding these commitments, climate-induced loss and damage are taking place in different parts of the world. With an extensive coastline of around 7,517 kilometers, India is among the most vulnerable countries with exposure to rising sea levels, floods, and droughts. The marginalized communities living in the coastal belt are particularly vulnerable to these extreme weather events, which cost the country over 17,000 lives between 2012 and 21 alone. Extreme climate events have a significant impact on water, sanitation, and hygiene services, as drought, floods, and cyclones can damage toilets, water supplies, and sewerage infrastructure, affecting the quality of water supply, sewage spillage. This has disastrous health impacts on the communities living in the slum settlements of urban cities. Water was mentioned for the first time in the final declaration adopted at the UN COP27 held at Sharm el Sheikh in November 2022. Building on the resolution and commitments made at COP27, countries have to make serious efforts to find effective solutions to address the climate impact on WASH at the forthcoming COP28 in Dubai. The responsibility for providing drinking water supply and sanitation services fall under the purview of state governments as outlined in the state list of the 7th schedule. The 74th Amendment to the Constitution mandated the devolution of these services to the urban local bodies. Despite India having the policy framework for WASH-related policies in flagship missions such as the Swachh Bharat and Jal Jeevan missions, the country still struggles with the developing a climate-resilient WASH infrastructure and sustainable practices. Understanding and improving resilience requires reliable data offers insight into urban dynamics and the potential challenges faced by the poor living in these settlements. In this context, the risk and vulnerability assessment that the Center for Advocacy and Research did, supported by the Water for Women initiative of the Australian government to identify the potential climatic risk and their impact on WASH infrastructure in the slum areas of Jaipur and Bhubaneswar, provides important insights. For this, we selected households in 19 wards and 24 wards in Bhubaneswar and Jaipur respectively. As the spatial location of slums play a significant role in designing appropriate local actions for the resilience of the marginalized groups, we selected slum settlements which are susceptible to climate change impacts. For example, in Bhubaneswar, 48.6% of settlements were situated near drains and canal roads, exposing them to potential flooding during heavy rains. The consequences are evident. When considering the 2011 census data for a total of 67 wards in Bhubaneswar and 77 wards in Jaipur, it reveals that 52% and 60% of the wards respectively face high vulnerability due to multiple indicators, including illiteracy, lack of access to electricity and mobile phones, and the significant presence of marginalized communities, particularly scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. These factors, when combined with the three critical WASH indicators, compound the vulnerabilities and significantly impact the overall resilience of this population. The pressing question is whether programs like Swachh Bharat Mission and Amrit Scheme, which have diligently worked to improve WASH infrastructure in informal settlements, have adequately addressed climate preparedness on both small and large scales. Our study emphasizes the consequences of climate events on water and sanitation services. While tap connections have improved to 92% in Bhubaneswar and 72% in Jaipur, these figures drop respectively to 77% and 25% during adverse climate events forcing people to resort to government and private tankers. Similarly, access to latrine facilities declined during these events, leading to a surge in open defecation from 6% to 18% in Bhubaneswar and 11% to 18% in Jaipur. People are aware of the need for raised pit latrines in flood prone areas, but financial constraints and the low lying location of households hindered their construction. Additionally, while public mobile toilets have increased to 11% in Bhubaneswar and 64% in Jaipur, they are often submerged and unclean after heavy rains, emphasizing the need for climate resilient wash infrastructure and community preparedness. This is particularly vital due to high prevalence of vector and waterborne disease. Therefore, the spread of disease adds another layer of challenges, with 80% of slum residents in Bhubaneswar and 63% in Jaipur reporting fever, skin infection, malaria, dengue, and typhoid. Loss of livelihood with economic instability and increased healthcare costs, women and girls suffered the most, grappling with menstrual hygiene challenges and facing harassment while revealing themselves due to the lack of home toilets. Despite facing a series of challenges, the silver lining is that the people are adaptive and not ready to give up. People across slums and wards continuously find and experiment with ways to address these challenges. To combat the spread of waterborne disease, they regularly test water quality in various wards such as 16, 18, 30 and 49 in Bhubaneswar and 7, 84, 93 and 99 in Jaipur. They also monitor places prone to waterlogging independently. Moreover, they take it upon themselves to get defunct water sources like hand pump repaired and have prepared alternative water resource sources in wards such as 5, 18, 19 and 46 in Bhubaneswar and ward 84 and 99 in Jaipur. Governments can further strengthen people's initiatives by strengthening their capacity to sustain safe sanitation and incentivizing them to revive alternative water sources. Store water to cope with supplying irregularities and conduct regular water testing for a resilient and sustainable future. Okay, so guys, this was for today. Let's find out the 5 new words that I would like to use my daily conversation as well as writings. The first is deluge. I don't know the meaning of this deluge, but water, sanitation and hygiene services. This is what wash infrastructure. Vulnerable. Affecting quality of water supply and sewage. Spillage. Okay, so this was for today, guys. I hope you would be understanding, and please do comment in the comment section these 5 new words that you find appropriate for yourself from this editorial. Okay, so till then, bye bye, signing off for the day.